Right. Who's ever watching YouTube, just give us a few minutes while we get ourselves together and we'll start shortly. All right. What's going on, Carl?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Good. Doing all right.
You're back, man.
Yeah.
Providing
Full,
leadership.
full,
Providing leadership.
full swing, full swing. September's warm up. This is where the fun starts. Um, it depends on how on us on how yes, and how focused we are on the budget items. Okay.
I think we have to focus on the committee. They are very interested in architectural.
Right.
Yes, part of it.
Kind of environmental.
Yeah, that's not the part that interests me. But
Right. I mean, it's not central to it, but it's connected.
Yeah.
More broadly.
That was a fairly good.
Huh?
That was a fairly
It was very good.
good.
It was very good.
Good.
You want to go see something for Pelé?
No, Paley Center for Media. The Paley Center
It's
for
like
Media.
it's like a venue down near a moment, right?
Right. They handle like media
Oh,
archiving and things like that.
okay. What is it called again?
Paley Center for Media.
Oh, Paleo Center for Media.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he funded CBS, William Paley.
Oh.
Was the same guy who,
I thought you was talking about Pelé, the football guy.
yeah.
Oh,
He invented
he was a founder
No, he was like development.
of media.
Yeah, media and economic development stuff.
Did you see a talk there or something?
Yeah, the panel on the media and the presidential commission. They brought the media things, TV talking heads. Yeah, Margaret Hoover.
Good evening, everyone. For all of us, here, and anybody watching on YouTube, welcome to our Business Development Committee meeting. My name is Joel Abreu. I am the committee chair. And like we always do, I like to start with introductions just in case somebody's watching this later on. Who is speaking to you and what do we do? So my name is Joel, like I mentioned. I am the chair. I've been chairing this committee this is my third year now. Been doing it for 2 years. Been on the board for 4. It's been really exciting. And I love this committee. It's like our baby. This team has been with us for a year and a half now. So we've been doing great things. At this committee, what we do is we try to harness as much resources as we can from the city, from the private sector, from all over, not-for-profits, to make sure that our constituents are well informed. So I'm gonna go around the room. Everybody introduce yourselves. I'm gonna start with Bruce because we didn't introduce yourself last time. Yeah.
Okay. Bruce Robertson.
Yeah.
on the community board, it's about 7 years now. And the Heights, 24 years, downtown Washington Heights. And I love this committee. So, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bruce. Carl.
Carl never for, well, I was never member of the committee. I was going to serve for, well, some very kind of thing.
All right, thank you, Carl.
You know, done that. Seriously. Yeah, just cut myself.
And I really started with Bruce, and I should be starting in reality with our brand new assistant chair.
Yeah. That was
Voted.
that was a breach of protocol, right?
That was a breach of protocol. I apologize. Mr. Dia Barnes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Radia Barnes. This is the start of my second term, so I still consider myself kind of brand new. I'm happy to be serving as the assistant chair of this committee and looking forward to meeting new people and bringing on new businesses and learning about all the different businesses in the community. Welcome, everyone.
Right, thank you, Radia. Look forward to you, getting more involved. We'll talk a little bit offline on what we're gonna do. But thank you for stepping up. And our newest member, Mr. Chris, please introduce yourself.
Sure. Chris Whitaker, this is my first time on the committee, first time on the community board. Been a resident of Washington Heights for about 10 or 11 years. Looking forward to diving in.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining our committee and joining the board as a whole. So a couple of things that we have to go over, right? So for our new member, October is our month of finance, our budget month here at the board. And you guys have all the packets. We're gonna go over them in a few minutes, and you know how it works. Because when I first got on the board, it was extremely confusing for me. But we're gonna go and dive into it. So what we do here, obviously our committees are separated into all types of things, from health to the elderly to youth and education, public safety, all of these committees. We send things that should be included in our budget up to the borough president, Manhattan Borough President, where every year in the committee, we choose items that we think are necessary to send up to the general board. Once we send it up to the general board, in that general meeting at the end of October, we actually vote on the ranking of what should be most prioritized from all the committees. So every committee adds to this bucket, and we all get to vote on what's our number one priority as a board. Now, our job here at the committee is to choose items that we think or deem necessary for our community. Before you, what you have is last year, right? So the reason why we have last year is so that, once we push it up to the borough president, they push it back to us, we get a response, and we have this in front of us, and we don't repeat the same things going forward next year, because we've done that in the past.
Things don't get done right away.
Right. Or sometimes, Bruce, we have to resend it up, right? To make sure that they know we mean business, that this is very important to us. Obviously, we're gonna rank our budget items here, and then those rankings will go to the committee, and then ultimately the whole board will get to rank our lists of stuff as they see fit. But hopefully we get ranked high this year. Last year we were on the bottom half. Obviously, there's a lot of more other things that are necessary, right? Like, parks has always a huge list. Health and environment is very important. But we try to make it on the list anyway. Make sure that we, because we don't know what that office is planning, right? Maybe our word is important, and maybe other community boards need the same thing. So that's what we're gonna do. But first, we want to start by going over what we had last year. And I don't know if you guys recall, but last meeting, told you guys to kind of brainstorm some ideas that you may have on, capital expenses, capital budget items and expense budget items that you think are good ideas. So let's first go over capital. So if you go to the second page on capital, we had a couple things be ranked, right? So if you look at our committee rankings and then our board rankings, on our board we were 49 and 48. And how you read this is you would go through this booklet that we have, and let's go over to 40 of capital. I think it's one number off, so it's 47 and 48. So in 47, 48, we have what was ranked to expand NYC Small Business Opportunity Fund for startup capital. Now, let me explain. Does anybody remember what was that? You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that comment.
So the NYC Small Business Opportunity Fund for startup capital was a fund at the beginning of 2023 that opened, I think, for like 2 weeks. Let me see if I could share this with you guys. I want to see. Now, so this fund was a huge hit. Why? Because primarily it was funded by a lot of people from BOC to Goldman Sachs, Sendas. It was a huge fund, but it ran out pretty quickly because they didn't ask for credit applications or business credit applications. You could be a startup with no previous track record of of revenue, hadn't filed taxes. It was just an idea, and you could apply for this. So you could imagine it was pretty popular. It ran out right away, and I think it took like maybe 2 or 3 weeks or a little bit more. But we encouraged SBS to adopt more funds in that way and included it in our capital expense budget of last year. The report from the borough's president's office was that the agency will try to accommodate this issue within existing resources. How I translate that is that we don't have enough resources right now, and we will, hopefully, but I don't have any money. So how I translate that is that I'm going to re-put that into our budget because we really want this fund.
Yeah.
It was an incredible success. So I just want to, quickly make a note of that.
Good.
Well,
Yes.
noting on their website, they give a shout out to Booney Coffee, which apparently.
One of the, yes.
They're doing great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to Booney Coffee, and I love their
own coffee maker,
Mhm.
the bean roaster.
Yeah, I think that just opened like
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, right?
When?
The Bronx somewhere, I think is where the roast.
So they have 3 locations here, which is in the terminal on 215th, and they have one on 187th and in Pinehurst.
But they're actually roasting their own beans now.
Yeah,
in their
yeah,
shops,
yeah.
Which is a great thing. They didn't have the money to do that before they got this investment.
Right. Yeah. So shout out to them. I knew last year I saw that, but that's just a success story, right? Like you got an expanding coffee shop from the Heights, from this fund. Although they had already, previous track record, right? But hey, Javier, come on, join us. Welcome.
Hi.
Yeah. Hey.
Hold up.
Guys, this is Javier. Javier is from Popular Bank.
Oh, yes.
If you guys remember,
One time.
Have you guys been giving your grants?
we're gonna get an update from them.
Excuse me.
We'll get an update. And thank you. Javier, we're just going over some budget things and we'll be right with you, okay?
What number was that on the budget?
That was number 47. Oh,
When does it say 67?
no, it's
48.
It's on this side.
yeah.
67.
Yeah, because there's one number off because last minute they eliminated one out of the whole
Okay.
list, so it's moved
I
up.
don't remember 40, that was 47. I think.
All right. So 47. So we all agree we could put that on our
Yeah.
list, right? So it's important to mention that after we come up with a list of capital, we will rank them in here. And depending on what the results are, we'll put them and I'll submit them as our ranking. So great, we have one. So NYC. Okay, great.
And how, just so I know for background, how specific we have to be, or have we been, does this exist as a bigger proposal somewhere, or is this like, we just want you to prioritize this?
Yeah, so
And have your present.
it does exist.
Oh, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Then I'll take it.
It does. It's a big because it's sent up to the general board and then it's sent up to the Manhattan Borough President's office where they send it up to the mayor's office and somehow it trickles down. It's like three tiers up. And it does get filtered out because it's all of the community boards.
Right.
And I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, I guess what I'm asking is like, will other community boards, are we saying expand small business opportunity by $200,000 or?
We don't get that.
No,
That's what
no.
I'm asking. Okay,
Oh,
so-
yeah, like amounts?
Right,
No.
Right, so other community boards will petition for a similar thing, and so our will line up.
Yeah,
It's really input, right? It's we're advisory, right?
Right.
We're not like we no actual executive power, right? There's not.
Right.
It's input.
Okay, so there's just level of specificity.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what
It's concepts.
Right.
Concept of it, wow.
Oh, sometimes it gets through though. It does get through, I wanna say that our input is important.
It's
Because
popular enough.
if it's popular enough,
It might get popular enough.
We
And-
got money.
yeah,
That worked.
yeah,
They were successful.
yeah.
Yay.
So, a quick word too, capital expenses are like revenue generating things, big projects for the city, as opposed to expenses, operating expenses. So just forgot to mention that difference. Okay, going on to the next one. Building e-bikes. That was 48. It was 49 on this, but it's really 48, and that's on page 13. Here's the response from SBS. The agency will try to accommodate this issue within our, no, excuse me, that's the wrong one, because that doesn't make sense. That was the other one. So what they said about the build e-bike charging stations, they said this is not under SBS.
That's DOT?
That is DOT. It is. That's the
Well, I
translation.
can bring it up in the transportation committee because I'm on.
Thank
it.
you.
I will bring it up.
Thank you. Please bring that to them. Build some e-bike charging stations for delivery drivers. The reason why we did it on this side is because that drives business revenue, right? Like if you have tired workers or bikes without electricity, then you're missing out
This is
on
where the committees
opportunity.
overlap.
Yeah,
So if you're on two committees, you can talk to both. Things kind of converge, hopefully.
yeah. So you could relay that message. I think that's important. I believe there was there's a Chick-fil-A rest station somewhere in Midtown, and it does wonders for them. Like they sit there, they charge their bikes, they're on the phones, and they get a break, right? Especially when it's inclement weather or they're tired. It's very important. There's a group out there called I forgot their names. Los Deliveristas. It's a advocacy group from Carmen de la Rosa's group, is her office, and they're advocating for these charging stations.
Wow.
So, unfortunately, in Midtown, they actually approved some budget areas for this to create kind of like a pilot program, and the community board in 72nd Street, I don't know what board that is, denied it. So I don't know, but that is something that we wanted. So it's just a
They
wrong
don't have
committee.
hills down in 72nd Street. That's a problem.
But I think that the pilot program is not over with. I think they're gonna try it again because it's important. Not to mention that these things cause fires.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we will not eliminate that. We're not gonna continue to put that on the budget, so we can eliminate that. The same thing is, and you don't have to turn to it for the electric vehicle charging stations, because those two are for DOT and in the wrong committee. So you can bring up both of those.
Okay.
E-vehicles and e-bike charging stations.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Now let's go into 31, which is build a New York City Small Business Support Center. Okay, so then that's on page 9. The response, the project was completed. Look at that. Look at that. You see this?
All the way down to number 32.
Yeah, 31. Yeah, page 9, it was 30 in priority at the final ranking, but look at that. We have a business resource center. I don't know if it was built last year or the year before, or even the year out before that, but it was built.
Where was it? Where's he located?
It's on 181st Street,
Is that part of the bid?
right on top of the bid.
On top of,
Yes.
Oh, I thought that.
is the Cedro running that?
This is SBS.
And who's running it?
SBS, Small Business Services. So it's a New York City agency. So and they built a few of them. One in the yeah. So
Aren't they all in workforce ones, right?
yeah, it's not the same building as Workforce One, but it's right next door. I just want to show you guys. Business resource. Washington. Mhm.
181. You said 181?
Yeah,
We did that.
looks good.
So we crossed that off.
Yes, we crossed that one off. Oh,
That's what you got.
That's not in the New York Business Solution.
yes, the Solution Center, New York City Business Solutions. Yes. Is the event that you're hosting? Yeah. That you hosted, excuse me, was with them. They're on 181st. Look at them right there. There it is. Right there. Okay.
Wait. What is it? The blue or the yellow or what?
This
The blue one.
the blue.
Okay. So it's a street. It's a street.
It's right on 181st.
I don't care.
It's not even that high up. Wait till you get to 215. That's funny. That's good. Oh, yeah. So it's there. And there's also a Workforce One, which is more on the hiring side of things. So and I think it's there too. I think it's not here. Now that I think about it, it might be Workforce One, or they switched it over here. Because the last time I went to it, which is a couple months ago, it wasn't here. It was where the Workforce One is, right?
Right down the street.
Yeah. Yes. That's where it's at. Yes. Let's look at that.
This is part of the problem. There's so many different agencies that are overlapping.
Mhm.
All I want to do is get advice from my small business. Like, walk in the door and give me the advice. I don't care who you are. right?
Yeah, no, agreed.
We have to simplify it.
Agreed, yes. So it's there. It's either there or in 181st. I gotta swing by there and confirm that. But we do have one here in Washington Heights.
Cool.
So we can cross that off our
Good.
list.
All right.
So any businesses that you say, the SBS has a bunch of programs, right? Like, and well, I'm gonna run through that really briefly.
I need to ask, did that guy retire at the head of SBS?
Oh, Mr. Kim.
He's gone.
Yeah.
There's somebody else. He was great.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
So who?
I don't know who the commissioner is now. Oh.
Hopefully next week.
Ouch. Too soon. It's too soon. So we're gonna cross that off our list. All right. Now, what was our highlight in the summer? You remember what our highlight was? It was outdoor dining.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Outdoor dining, the new program that's taking over New York City, or will be in 2025. Because they're building their structures. They have to take down their structures. They got to rebuild their structures. And that costs money. So last year, we decided to put this on our budget to say, okay, we understand that a lot of the businesses created these large structures. They're gonna have to take this down. And that's a big, hefty amount of capital that they just injected into their business that is gone. So we said, okay, if you're going to create regulations that are going to make business owners do that, why don't we create a fund that business owners could apply for and get some money back for this investment? So it was a fund to assist business owners rebuild their outdoor seating structures according to new regulations. Let's see their response. It was ranked pretty low, which I was disappointed in, but okay, I think it's here.
What? Yeah, it's 54.
54.
Or where is it? I just had it.
It's on page 14, the bottom.
Oh. Okay, yes. Our translation, the agency will try to accommodate the issue within existing resources.
You see a lot of, I see a lot.
We don't have money, but we can't have, we have to look for money. So I like that. I like that.
I see a lot of them going down. I'm not sure how many will try to go back up.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know, right? I think the application is closed in August, so I'm pretty sure they have a tally.
They have until November to take their existing.
Yeah, so
Otherwise they get fined.
they get fined.
Assuming DOT is gonna go around.
And have an enforcement agency, which I doubt. It's gonna be
It's a
clear.
good thing for them.
Yeah. So
So shall we, resubmit that?
I think so. What do you think? What do you guys think?
What are you saying?
Resubmit that.
Should we resubmit that budget item? I'm proposing yes. The reason why is because they haven't taken down their structure, so we don't know the impact of it yet. So I'm proposing that we do. Even if it's for the next fiscal year, right? Like we're gonna be able to see the effects come June next summer. Maybe a business owner got the license but couldn't build it because they didn't have the money. And maybe next year they come out with like a fund to help this.
You guys win those?
It depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to, yeah, how much is it?
How much are those structures? You know? Anybody know? Anybody?
I think the fee is like,
Not the not the fee, but to
build
actually
one?
build one, build it out.
$10,000.
The minimum for business is like 1.5.
Okay.
Mm.
So build a fancy. But anyway, that's what it comes down to, is where they're gonna get the capital to do it. If FPS doesn't give it to them, they're gonna go to a bank and the
Yeah.
bank's gonna say, well, it's just kind of a.
Yeah, or they have reserves or something, you know. But anyways, the reason why I included it in the budget because I think it'll be helpful to businesses. So I'm gonna include it.
Okay.
You guys can rank it as you see fit.
So,
Mhm.
questions, everybody has to tear down the structures a couple weeks ago.
No,
There's still time?
By
they,
November.
yeah, by November.
Oh.
They had to apply for the new program before in
So if
August.
they weren't gonna try and keep it up, they probably did tear it.
Exactly. So if they applied and they got approved, you have to take it down immediately. If you didn't apply by November, you have to take it down.
And they have to accept the new format that DOT has put out to build something according to specifications that DOT requires.
Mhm.
Right. And it's not like enclosed. A lot of
And
these
it's only
road,
half the year.
yes,
You gotta find somebody to take it down and put it back up, and it's a big proposition.
yeah.
Really? I'm just looking at this.
Yeah, no, it's,
If
4-year license, flat rate of,
something per square,
$1,000, $1,050 for roadway or sidewalk cafe, or 2,100 for both.
and this is just
that's just a license.
that's the
That's the
license. Yeah, that's the
right.
permit to actually build that.
Right, the security deposit, and so. But sorry, so this is something that they have to take down in winter.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
It's only allowed from, correct me if I'm wrong, April to November
I think
or
so.
or October. It's just there, but in the wintertime it has to be gone. So it has to be something collapsible. The structure that some businesses have in our neighborhood are like houses or an
Sure.
extension of their restaurant.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So these things are gonna be coming down and it's just money thrown out the window.
So there is no permanent.
No,
Interesting.
there's no permanent ones. So I have to take it down. I think that New York City is coming up with like a modular design that
Yeah,
everybody
they
can buy.
We already put that out.
Yeah, they put it, I think they did. So
Eleazar's done that.
yeah,
He's working
That
on
would
it.
be a good idea.
yeah, it's a good
Yeah, but
business.
no, I mean, it depends. You
Yeah.
know, I talked to
Oh,
people in my
no.
neighborhood saying it's not worth it.
Yeah,
But if they have a modular structure, that people can install everything.
very quickly. That's nice.
Yeah.
But then you also have expenses to like remove it and to ship it somewhere and then
Right.
store it. So, good luck on the business, man. Make me a partner. Oh, okay. So I'm putting that on
But
there.
we're keeping that in.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. So now
We
it's
don't
the
have much left.
yeah, it's the fun part. This is the fun part.
Make up new ones.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll go first, 'cause unless somebody, no, I'll do it. Let's just
You're the chair.
get the juices flowing. So, speaking of funding, have you guys heard of Fund Finder? No, wait a minute. No,
Is it
that's
like
my express.
FUN or FUND?
No, don't ignore that comment. That's for my expenses. Okay. Have you guys heard
Oh,
have you guys heard of My City
no.
chatbot?
It's not up.
The chatbot, My City chatbot.
No.
Okay, so SBS, I think it was New York City Council, I think it was last summer, not this summer that passed, last summer, passed a resolution or a law into their into the New York City, what is it called? The law, New York City law. And basically they created a system where it's like an extension of SBS, and My City gets you all the info on like permits, how to get access to funding. I'll show you guys the website, and this is also important. It is a resource guide, and that's a good point, on a city-wide level. So it's called My City. My city encompasses all types of things, but we're looking for the business end of things, and just share the screen so anybody watching can see what we're doing. Okay. So My City, it's a bunch of resources that the city has all on one convenient website. You log in and step by step, business preparedness resources, And this is what I'm talking about, right? My city chatbot. Now, this chatbot is an AI, and I demonstrated it last year. And it basically, like, you can ask it anything. Hey, what licenses do I need to open up a medical center or a bodega or restaurant? And it's really good. It's still in beta, but it's citywide, like you mentioned, Carl. It's citywide, so it's only citywide resources. Now, I am proposing part of our budget is that these AIs are trained through computing units, right? Like, yeah, pretty sure the city has a server somewhere that is training this AI constantly on different resources that can help its users figure it out. Now, I'm proposing that we continue and add on to this and say, hey, New York City, why don't you train your AI to be neighborhood specific? Right? All right, I am starting a bodega in Washington Heights. Can you point me to, which is a bad idea because there's 10,000 of them, but I love them. Oh, I'm opening a bodega in Washington Heights. What can you point me to some local resources that can help me? Okay, and we go to Banco Popular, right? And then or the Chamber of Commerce, right? Or cloth, all these resources that we can point them to. And I think that if we train this AI, it not just generalizes one business on the whole of New York, but kind of focuses on a neighborhood. So this is part of one of my capital expenses is to expand the role of my city AI to help identify how did I write this? Local resources.
Now, have you spoken to them at all?
No. No.
I mean, this is feasible to do.
Yeah, I think so too. I think,
Anything on the computer is feasible.
yeah, and it's low cost.
We're talking about a local resource for years.
Yeah. Yes.
This is it.
Yeah. So it can be,
But how are they gonna suck? The AI is gonna suck in all the businesses.
right, not all the businesses, but all the resources.
The resources.
Right. So you would have to grab a team, come down here to the city
The
community board,
bid, the popularity, the
Get-
TDK.
grab all that
Yeah.
info, contact info, put it into a file, an API, and feed it into the algorithm, so that anybody says, "Oh, I'm in Washington Heights,"
Yeah.
you can get all these resources. So I think that it just proves beneficial because now you're not just talking generally. Now you're talking about, hey, listen, I'm here in Washington
I'm
Heights.
surprised that he doesn't already do that.
You're right.
What's that?
I'm surprised that he doesn't already do that. In the concept of applying to a website to access information, it would suggest that you could plug in the area you're interested in, and it will give you information pertinent to that place.
Yeah, I see what you're
You
saying.
cannot simply range around the city without any concrete information.
I think that it's focused merely not on the private sector, but on the public sector, right? Like what resources we have internally within the city. Because the city probably doesn't have access or they know of them, but they don't know specifically what a not-for-profit does, right? Like, I don't know if there's a database that New York City has. Hey, this not-for-profit helps businesses. And I think that if we allow the businesses, this chatbot to get that information, then it can do that process.
Does bid have a resource database?
I'm pretty sure.
So
Even through their ESBS bids, they can get that info. Right? Like even through the bids. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm just saying this
but
because
these small businesses don't know about the bid. They
Right.
don't know where to start. But
exactly. So you'll be
we're
able.
talking about a lot of naive theater people, unfortunately. I hate to say it that way, but a small business guy wants to open a bodega, he's not a computer whiz.
Right.
Especially in this neighborhood.
Mhm.
Especially in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Now,
That needs to be violated.
Oh,
So, it doesn't yet cover like private business information,
no, not yet, no.
but it's not already in existence.
The bot? You want to test it?
Yeah.
Is it already? in
Let's test it.
existence?
Let's test it.
We're innovating for you.
All right, here we go. I am, oh wait, I want to start a business, a bodega business, that bodega business.
We can do a restaurant.
All right, let's do restaurant. Restaurant, am I wrong here? Yep, I suck at spelling, guys, don't judge me.
In Washington.
You'll know that.
Can you point me to? Okay,
Any available there.
here we go, guys. AI. Okay, great. Great.
It's hopelessly a general. It doesn't really help you with specifics.
Well, it mentions SBS.
Yeah. New York City agencies.
Oh, yeah. Really right. We focus it and make it able to give more complete information.
Yeah, I'll ask you a really specific question.
Yeah.
Let's ask it, what is the law on withholding taxes from tips for service?
Okay. What is the taxes on withholding?
Withholding tips. Service.
How do I spell that? Withholding, right? Or to, yeah, withholding.
What is the law?
What is the taxes on, what is the law, excuse me?
On withholding tax?
Dyslexia, no, I'm not dyslexic, and no offense. What is the law of withholding
Withholding taxes for food.
Taxes from tips.
taxes? From tips.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Yeah, so he's gonna be able to recall. Yeah, he's gonna be able to recall IRS and
Well, it's a more
government. So what I want from it is, can you tell me what is my local chamber of commerce? In Washington Heights? No,
Bruce, are you,
I'm on the board.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Hey.
don't have that info.
Whoa, that's bad.
see
That's
that?
very bad.
That's
He
horrible.
needs to get more
That's
specific.
very
So this is what I'm proposing,
More local.
right? More localized.
Well, will they go for that though?
Terrible.
I mean, they might have.
I mean,
been told to do that.
But this is the thing, right? Like I'm pretty sure that this is a beta version. They're working on it. It's gonna be more improved as the technology gets advanced. We're just helping you push forward. So
Thank you for doing that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
We need to call these guys.
So it's not up and running yet.
it's up and running.
It's
It's
beta.
live.
Beta.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. You can go on it right now. It's just not at its perfect form.
Right.
Not Super Saiyan 10. Maybe just like 2 or 1.
Yeah.
That's a Dragon Ball Z reference. So
When you click on New York NYC.
it goes back to the
Go back to the beginning.
that website I just showed. Okay, so
Okay.
all right, that's my first idea. Thank you. I am gonna put it as
My city resource.
my city AI to help my city AI identify local
Yep.
local resources. Okay. Oh, this is I'm an idea guy. I'm an big idea guy. So, um, and we're after this capital, we're gonna get to you. Oh, okay. Alright, 'cause now so my second idea is, so when I created my business, I own a small startup called Basura, and we are in basically the collecting of waste data to create waste profiles for commercial and residential units. That's what we want. That's what we're developing. When I created my business and I filed and I registered it, I got all my paperwork sent to my address. But then I also got like a bunch of like credit cards, business credit cards. And I'm like, how? How did that happen? So I registered something with the state. How am I getting stuff from private entities? And I realized that these private entities probably have data scrapers, meaning that they're able to see through the New York State website who recently registered a business, right? Scrape the data from there, get addresses, things like that. I don't know how much data they can get, but then what it gives them is a big, huge cold calling list, right? Like, look at this, all these businesses that started, who's banking with us, right? Can we shoot our shot with banking? And it makes great business sense, but we're not in that business, right? Like, we're in the business of helping people, helping businesses. So I'm like, why don't we tell New York City to get us that list? Like, what if we get all the businesses that registered their address in Washington Heights and Inwood? So then we can have a direct source of who we're helping, right? Like, let's say I'm a business owner and it's a tech startup. You have no idea, I have no retail location, right? But I'm here based in New York. And I need help funding. I need help looking for legal advice. I need help finding programmers or a workforce, right? Like I need a bunch of help, and I'm looking at for it in all over the city and maybe online. And I'm looking at, and this is obviously for our younger generations that are not building brick and mortar stores. They're building tech startups or food trucks. They're not like doing brick and mortar because that's, especially here in New York, is extremely expensive. So why don't we have a way to grab all the businesses that use Washington Heights and Inwood as a address, and then we have a list of businesses that just started.
So you file new business with the Department of State for New York State, right? Is New York State Secretary of State allowed to give out that information? I don't think so.
I think so.
It's public. I think
It's public.
What?
It's public. Yeah, you could do a FOIA request for any.
You could, you know,
Okay.
Yeah.
the SOS
Oh, yes.
website, I don't think.
Yes.
Your
But
principal's address
there's
is
no
there.
privacy thing because it's a corporation.
business.
Yeah,
No.
it's not, it's public. Because if somebody wants to sue you or something, they should be able to
Okay,
not have to
Okay.
reach you.
so you go to DOS and you're in England, and I can look you up and say, okay, I'm gonna send you information about Popular Bank.
Right. So, but the thing is, there you have to look it up by name. So what you would do is there's what we call, anybody heard of a data scraper? Right?
Yeah.
So you can build a program that goes into the database, this public database, and grab the addresses of a specific location. And
You want us to do that?
no, not us, New York City.
New York City.
Right. And this is what I'm requesting. This is part of our budget items. Why don't we have a data scraper for New York State's websites on a local basis?
And they don't do that.
No. No, right? So I could register a business tomorrow and I could have all the resources around me, but I would have no idea because I go to the
But
state.
who's gonna get that data?
What do you mean? So it would be, okay, that's a good
Do you
question.
sell it? Or you give it?
No, you give it to the community boards. What's right?
Okay.
We give it to the community boards.
SBS.
No, not, I mean, SBS will give it to us, right? So let's say New York City, because I know this is getting complicated, but The reason why I want this is because let's say New York City develops an app, a data scraper, that allows them to see on a local format who registered their business using an address here in Wood, in Washington Heights.
Right.
And then that information is then trickled down to SBS, and SBS gives it to our district manager. Now we know all the businesses that started in Washington Heights.
But that recycle-
Solution, they can reach out to them.
Right.
That recycles
Like,
back
you
to
know,
this.
seminars.
Yeah, it
It
does.
goes back to this.
It does in a way, but this is kind of like I already know what my resources are, right? And I'm going in there.
Okay.
This is for us to know who is in need of help.
And where does it sit? It sits on CB12's website
No, I mean, I don't know. That would be all through
or the Manhattan Borough President's office?
office, right? And how they want to disseminate that information through email or through a file, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it would just be grabbing those names that just started a business and give it to SBS and trickle it down on a more local format. Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I like the idea. I'm just sort of surprised that they're not already doing it. You know,
Well, there's
you
not a
can,
simpler way. to
yeah, that you
grab
can
it.
already,
right.
you can
Like
already
they would
upset that
have-
kind of information.
Yeah.
I
I-
use like weekly basis, but I go there, like when the business coming to open a business account, I
Yeah.
go and they put the name, I put it out if it's active, but it's individual, right?
Right, and you have to look it up.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a lot of work to do, so we don't know. So I propose for New York City, the Manhattan Borough President's Office, to invest in a data scraper. I don't know if a data scraper is the right term, but I guess an application.
I think it has to be toned down a little bit. Data scraper sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta be more politic about it.
So, okay, to build,
Data supporter or data.
application, you could just do, we'll do an umbrella term.
Okay.
To create an application.
Right.
To allow access to New York State's, new business,
Directory or something.
yeah, new business directory.
Is it complicated to build this application? Are they gonna be like?
Not really, but.
I don't think so, because I think it's just a matter of organizing data, right? Like, and formatting it the right way. I mean,
No, it takes manpower too.
yeah, no, I mean, the
You have to
infra-
actually-
oh, yeah, to create it, yeah, to create the
You have to
backend
get
stuff.
the state to transport it to wherever you want it to be.
You don't, because that is public info, unless they want to go that way.
So the scraper is gonna go into the database of Department of State
Mm-hmm.
and just suck out all the new businesses
Mhm.
and give it to somebody here.
No, not somebody here. It would be through the government. Like, this is all. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Through the city.
Yeah, it would be through the city. I mean,
Manhattan Borough
obviously.
President's office.
Correct. So I think that's just an idea that I had. But let's do application.
Well, he paid for it.
Yeah, I mean, forget about it. Banco Popular would love an application.
How
like
many
that.
people need that? I mean, we need that. Because I'm surprised that we don't have all of that in one place where
No.
we can check.
Yeah, me too.
That's so important that we.
We could use it for our events and for our meetings, for the community board, to get more people involved in the community board.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the political reason for doing it, or the beneficial reason, as opposed to the business reason, which we
Yeah.
wanna get more business.
Right.
We're not.
It's the benevolent-
We're
is
out
that-
to- We're out to disseminate more information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds, it sounds very obvious that, you would think a film like that exists there. That it doesn't exist already is sort of like surprising.
Right. Right.
I
So
would have guessed it does exist.
it's crazy, right? So we're gonna do application to not scrape. What's a good word? To collect.
Oh,
Aggregate. How about aggregate?
Aggregate,
Okay, aggregate.
aggregate. And I'm gonna do aggregate and
So like I'm
collect.
on the real estate business.
Yeah.
So we all have our individual broker websites and we have aggregators like Street Easy, which pulls everything together. And consumers can go to that and see every damn listing.
That's the
Yeah.
concept. That's
Yeah,
the.
that's the same
They're
concept.
aggregate-
Yeah.
Trulia, Zillow, Street Easy, they're all out there aggregating all this data,
Mhm.
sucking it in,
Mhm.
and consumers get it for free.
Yeah, that's it. I use the word aggregate, yeah. Application to aggregate.
New York State.
And if you don't like that word, the word is collect.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can get
Getting
this.
to New York State data on new businesses that use CB12 address. CB12 address.
I like this.
Okay, we
We've been
got
talking about it for years, but this has got a good twist on it.
so we got 4 so far. I'm gonna hit you guys with number 5.
All right.
All right. How we doing so far? Good. Okay. All right. Although we have now a new cannabis task force. But before the cannabis task force, and before I was chair, shout out to Francisco. Francisco, you're watching. He was the chair before me. He was a big advocate for the legalization of marijuana. We should talk about that very often when I first joined this committee. Since then, it's been legalized and regulations. You know, we have a task force now, and we have even a new shout out to Happy Monkey too. They just opened their stores 3 weeks ago. The first legal dispensary in Washington Heights. Indictment.
Where is it?
Indictment,
Dykeman.
where the old Dykeman Electronics store is. Right there, diagonally from Happy República. Thank you guys. So shout out to them. However, and this is a huge however. In the beginning of all the regulations, I don't know how familiar you guys are with this. We used to talk about it before. I think Bruce, you were on the committee. When the card licenses come out, you guys know what the card licenses are? So the card licenses are legacy licenses that were given to about 400 people. And through application process, you had to have served time through the war on drugs, and this was kind of a social equity initiative that the OCM, which is the Office of Cannabis Management, did to kind of combat that, compensate what had happened. Now, as a card licensee, what you would receive is 1-year license, but the OCM wanted more, right? And Legacy Market wanted more. So what they did was, because it's very easy to say, hey, here's your license, go start a brick and mortar, right? Get a loan somewhere, 500K to get merchandise and build it out. So what the OCM did was, okay, through DASNY, which is Department of Dormitory something, New York State, they basically said, hey, we're gonna help you not only just get a place, but also build it out, construct it for you, and just give you the key, a turnkey place where you can sell. You just have to provide the merchandise, but we will build it out for you. It'll be turnkey. Now, throughout 2022 and 2023, all 400 plus licenses were received. However, in order to do a build out, you need a lot of funds. This is an expensive thing. So Governor Hochul, she partnered with a private equity firm called Chicago Atlantic LLC. So Chicago Atlantic LLC promised $150 million, obviously with the hopes of making a profit because they are a for-profit entity, and with the pledge of $50 million from New York State, a total of $200 million to help card licensees get operational, right? Get their brick and mortar. However, in this year, I think a total of 40 stores have been opened, and this summer, it has officially stopped because it has stopped. No longer is Chicago Atlantic doing this anymore because of alleged predatory lending because it would be a loan and you would have to pay it back. Here's I'm telling you the backstory so I can pitch you my budget proposal. Now, New York City has a lot of money, and I'm proposing for us to for them to do a fund to help lessen the blow for New York State and to create a fund to help these card licensees fulfill their promise. That means that this fund will allow card licensees, obviously through an application process, and get these funds to open up their actual locations through the state. So my budget item is create a fund for card licensees that have yet still to be given a location because of the breakdown of the Chicago Atlantic Administration LLC deal.
Go to the given one, loan, assistance.
A loan or assistance. Any questions on that? I know I went through a lot there.
It's a really hot topic,
It's hot.
and there's a lot of abuse and a lot of confusion.
Actually, 1 second, sorry.
I don't know how you all feel about it, but it's very. And it's a lot of money laundering.
Yeah.
So, it's
It wasn't ruled out.
not gonna be a go-getter on our list of things to do.
No, yeah,
Who are these people?
So,
Who are
guys,
making this response? See.
I'm not sure who put this together. I think.
No, but I mean, who are these who making all this response?
Manhattan Borough President's Office.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So,
I just said it's a hot topic. There's been a lot of bad news about it, and I don't think we're gonna get high up on the list, frankly.
yeah, I
But
understand.
it's worth trying.
Yeah, it's a hot topic, but I'm urging New York City to create a fund to help card licensees, right, that have still yet to be given a location, right, due to a breakdown of this deal. So I'm gonna put that on the budget.
I mean, it's a legit
Yeah,
business.
it's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
In fact, right on cue, this Fernando is actually a car licensee,
Oh, cool.
and he's actually one of the people that inspired me to put this on our budget.
Ah,
Thanks.
so you need financing to build out your business?
That is correct, yes.
And what problems have you encountered?
The usual, I'm a minority, which shouldn't be a problem, but it's one of the main problems, right? The fact that we come from a prohibition market, which is basically an illicit market.
Right.
A lot of the stakeholders have yet to really figure that out. Just funding in general, I'm part of the first 99 that was awarded this license.
In New York State?
In New York State, correct.
And where are you?
I'm based here out of Manhattan.
I mean, up here?
Yeah.
Are you open?
I would know not yet.
The
And
funding.
You're talking to, who are you talking to? Banks, SBS?
So basically, as he was part of the card licenses, and this is part of the deal that I just spoke about, and
Okay.
they were supposed to be given a fund.
Right. Oh, so you were promised and it didn't come through.
Correct.
This is the DAS.
Yeah, this is the DASD built up, right?
So and you have a lease with a building. You're paying out each month and you don't have income. That's
So this is what I'm saying, right? So just to tell you what we're doing here. This is the business development committee, part of the community board. And what we do every October is make sure that we get listing of budget items that we want as a committee pushed over to the general board. So then they can then push it over to the Manhattan Borough President's office and it can go to the city. So I know I didn't explain none of this to you earlier, but I just wanted you to know. So one of our budget items that I just requested for the committee to push is to create a fund, right? And I don't want to get your hopes up. This is our voices are one of thousands,
Many levels.
right? Many levels, right? We push it onto the general board and the general board could be like, okay, this is, they have other things they have to worry about and they rank it low. So what I'm just saying is that we want that in the committee. We're pushing this on the general board and hopefully our voices are heard. More often than not, they're not. But if more people, different boards, different committees do the same thing, we can get our voices heard. So I'm just letting the committee know, that's gonna be one of the budget items and then we can rank it as such. So, but I just wanted to invite Frank.
Tell them what you just said. We want to create a fund
Mhm.
for card licensees to get loan assistance or funding assistance. That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
Right,
There you
okay,
go.
great. So I just want to invite Fernando here, so he's a testament to one of those budget items. And welcome, so.
I mean, what, can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
What kind of problems happen? You were promised money through this, whatever the heck it was, fund.
It was,
And they-
the Dodging Fund, where we were promised a turnkey operation, basically. Once we won that lottery,
Whoa, how long ago was that?
that's been almost 2 years.
Whoa,
I was awarded I applied in 2022. I was awarded the license on April of 2023. And it's been a rough and rocky road.
so you awarded the license and then the fund said, oh, sorry, we're closed.
There were many situations that happened before we got to that, but that's pretty much.
There was-
And then you said, oh crap, what are we gonna do now? Meanwhile, you had signed a lease with the landlord, because that's like with a liquor store. Liquor store has to sign a lease with the landlord.
Before,
Before the SLA will approve their license, and it really is crazy, because how do they know they're gonna get the license unless they're really sure they're gonna get the license? That's more sure
Yeah,
thing than
crazy.
you're talking about, because this agency was like just made up, right? And nobody's saying to you, well, we screwed up, we're gonna help you
so
out.
the OCM has, they're in talks with, doing different things, a whole host of things, but nothing is concrete. But the time is is ticking,
Yeah,
right?
for
So,
these 2 years.
right? So I just, wanted to put that in there. You had a question?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions, but I want to understand this more, and I think if we're gonna put this, well, for all these things, we want to flesh them up for the board, but I think, helping the board to understand very succinctly what, I'm just looking at the news on this, and how the fund, how politics and corruption destroyed this program, like helping the committee under the board understand that very
So that,
quickly. So, yeah, I think there's a lot to pack.
yeah, and that's gonna be my job, right? When October last week was the last Tuesday, during executive, right? And during the general board meeting, I'm gonna go up there, I'm gonna explain our budget items, and I'm gonna try my best, because they give us like 2 minutes for these budget things, or 3 minutes. But it's important for us to tell the committee, tell the general board this and get the message out there. But
Are there many others like you?
Yes.
Like how many?
300 plus.
Probably even.
Yeah.
In the state?
Yeah.
In the state,
And what are you guys doing?
Waiting.
This, well, I mean, some of us are more active than others, but just, knocking on doors, pressing all the right buttons, at least.
What does that mean? Like state legislators or?
Correct. I mean,
Electeds or-
yes, this is something that
Adonis?
comes up in the board, well, mind you, the OCM is its own separate entity.
Yeah.
And for the most part, we've been dealing with them and communication.
All right.
But I just want to clarify,
Yeah.
so Dasney was going to give you this turnkey operation with their location picked out?
Correct. They handled everything. So mind you, a lot of us were unfamiliar with, with
Sure.
leasing, with
Right.
term sheets, with,
Sure, sure.
with board meetings. And
Commercial leases.
correct. So what their role was to get the space, to build it out, and to basically give us a turnkey operation
Right.
where we just get in the store and we start operating it.
Right, but that there's no, but you haven't signed a lease on a location.
Well, yes, I did, because what ended up happening was there was an injunction last year,
Mhm.
in August
Mhm.
of last year, and that pretty much put a halt to the whole program in general.
Mhm.
So they had picked out a location and said, here's where we're gonna do this. You signed the lease.
So Jay-
But no, yeah.
There's technicalities.
Yeah.
And I know I'm gonna jump in
Sure.
here.
Sure.
There's technicalities on where, where you can do it, right? And you also had an option of not doing it with the OCM, even if you're a car license.
Mhm.
And let's say you had backing, right? Financial
I
backing
see.
to
I see.
open it up anywhere.
Independent.
Are
Independently.
you paying rent on this space?
The space is available to me right now.
But are you paying rent?
What it is the following. Because I don't have the funding yet.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I have the lease, I have everything. Now, the landlord has been extremely helpful.
Good.
to me,
He
right?
understands.
Because he understands exactly what the
Good.
whole process has been.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So I do have the lease to the location. The location is technically like 10, 15 blocks from here.
Okay.
Which I came to the same community board to get the approval.
Yeah, he got approved
And
from our
it's
board.
for delivery only. So I
Mhm.
just want to highlight that. And the
It's,
reason why is because basically.
You're the guy in 181 that's upstairs.
There you go.
I remember that.
Right.
People downstairs complaining, you said, we're
Correct.
not disrupting them.
Yeah, correct. And this has also been one of the reasons, and actually the problem of getting the funding, not everyone's on board with this, right? So
When you say everyone's not on
I
board,
mean, it's just the fact that we did have some naysayers, right? It's a tough pull right now.
sure, you're adventurous.
There you go.
You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he's a trailblazer.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's been, and again, to your point, just to emphasize on the situation with Dasney, right? So because of the injunction, they were supposed to fill out a lot more leases and get a lot more locations going. When these type of injunctions have happened in other states, they tend to last a lot longer than what it did here, right? However, for that reason, it kind of became a bottleneck, right? So they only had a few locations, which they handed out. I'm on that list, and as far as August, I was offered a location, which unfortunately wasn't in my district. However, it was a location, right? That's kind of how I became involved with Joel, because I'm basically in no man's land, right?
Mhm.
Now, with the delivery option, they offered us that, right? As a way for us to do this on our own,
To supplement it.
right? So that way we could generate revenue.
Right.
Right? And then, right, open our location, even without Dazzling, right? So the idea was if Dazzling wasn't available to me and the others, for them to afford me this opportunity to get the delivery up and running, start generating revenue, create my brand.
Yeah.
And then from there, hopefully segue into a retail location, right? Now, they did in that process, when I did get the location, it came to the community board, I filled out all the dots, I checked out all the X's, right? However, because of the lack of funding is the issue that I have at the moment. I yet to become operational. As you saw me fidgeting with the phone, there's an event here in the city that's for buyers and retailers, right? I've been going to this event now for like a couple of years. I show up, I meet all the people, but it's just, I lack the funding necessary to get into the spot to build it out. I have to put a cage, I have cameras, I have to do a whole bunch of, I gotta buy the product, I gotta get staff.
How much money do you need?
I mean, pretty much it's anywhere from like $150,000 to $200,000.
So this is the, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
No, thank you guys, and thank you.
You're very
for-
articulate. It's really
Well,
informative. Thank you.
Listen, this has been a huge passion. You know, I've been hard at work, losing sleep over it because this opportunity was afforded to us because we are the trailblazers and pioneers in this industry. And it's such a shame that others are coming, whether it's from out of state, whether it's, multi-state operators, et
And
cetera.
they're doing it legally.
And well, not only are a big group of opportunists, is what I call them, doing it illegally,
Yeah.
but now you have people coming from other states that do have the funding requirements,
Uh-huh.
that don't need, us right now at the moment, right? Because that injunction created a huge issue. It pretty much devalued our position in the market.
Wow.
Right? So mind you, we were offered this, right, by the state. We were promised a location. Because of our justice involvement, we were given this opportunity, which I'm extremely grateful for. And it would not have had me in rooms like this, because otherwise we would, all be doing what we did, allegedly.
On the
So,
street.
On the street.
so I'm gonna just jump in here. So this is part of our options, right? We have 5 on the table. Here's how we're gonna do it. Before,
Does anybody else have?
yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, I was going over there right now. So can you repeat to me how you worded that?
Create a fund.
Yeah,
For card license. No.
card license.
What's people don't know what card license
Card
is.
means conditional.
No, this is cannabis card.
Yeah, no, it's
conditional.
conditional.
It translates that the acronym, right? That's the word. The
Mhm, yeah.
acronym translates to
Cannabis card
Conditional
licenses to
adult use retail dispensary.
So it's an acronym. Conditional adult use
adult
Use
CAU
retail
resale,
dispensary.
retail.
Retail dispensary.
CAURD.
Correct.
We gotta spell that out too.
Use
To
retail dispensary.
to get funding,
No, you said three verbs there. You said
create a fund for CAURD,
know,
cannabis access uses,
access to give access, funding, no, to lend, create funds for card licensees,
there you go, yeah,
to give access to
create funds for card licensees.
yeah,
Open location state.
create funds for the card license.
I mean, we can read the word.
Yeah, to give access,
That's the point.
loans, grants.
Where do we see this money coming from?
It's New York State.
It's New York State.
So, just to move the agenda along, does anybody else have any budget ideas?
No, not after that.
All right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to prolong anything.
No, no.
Because I didn't come with like good ideas, but I guess what I want to understand more, maybe this goes to the expense side as well, but this is great to hear from
Fernando.
for people who are out trying to make small businesses work. I don't feel like I have a good enough sense. I have some hunches, but like what is it that small business owners are clamoring for? What do people need? And that's kind of, what's what money?
So-
Exactly, but then foot traffic.
that,
What-
that's
That's Kamala Harris is saying, instead of 5,000, give them 50,000 for a small business. They need funding.
Yeah.
Start up a business.
but I think that's true. But what are those funds are for? All right, workforce, right? They need training, right? They need legal advice, right? They need help with suppliers, people need to learn how to create business plans. You know, as an
How to apply
entrepreneur,
to a bank.
how to apply for a
loan.
bank, how to bank, right? Accountant services, right?
Commercial leases.
Financial planning, succession plans. All of this is necessary. Like, when you apply for a loan, you need financial documents that are audited by an accountant, and most businesses don't know how to do that. So I'm just telling you all of this
Sure.
kind of to do a blanket kind of all the things that a business owner might need,
Yeah.
and different people and you could think and imagine the different people that can help with those things.
Right.
Um, Yeah.
So I guess the question in all this is just like, how do we direct money to fill in those gaps and plug people into
We
the resources?
we
that already
direct people
exist?
to resources. We don't direct money per se.
Well, what I'm saying, what we're doing right now is saying you should put money in this thing that's going to
Oh,
help.
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we're right now, we're saying,
I think
how do we spend money that's gonna fix these, that's
And-
gonna
True.
and I'm
hook people up?
gonna do this because I usually don't do this, but I'm gonna give the city its flowers, right? So a lot of it is the city, for example, has this department, the small business services, that offers a lot of, right, funding, or that, or through some sort of channel, through like maybe the bid, offer some sort of resource. And they have that, right? Our real goal with this is to fill the gaps where they're needed, like maybe resources that, for example, are left maybe in the middle of that. Okay, maybe some businesses are online and they don't get those immediate resources. So, how can we get them and tap into them, right? I think that most of the times the city taps into that.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, because we pay a lot of taxes, and this department is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, right?
Sure.
So, it's also individual entities. The city, the CLAW, Dominican American Chamber of Commerce, the Washington Heights Chamber of Commerce, Inwood Merchant Association, Sherman Creek Association. All these organizations also do what the city does, but on a more local level, right?
And can we, because that's something I was curious about is, can we suggest, seems like a lot of what you're saying is we need folks on the ground, we need people to help with training, to run training, to go out there and shake hands, say, come learn how to do this. We're going to show you how to get started with basic accounting. We're going to, here's where you need to go above the 181 bid and answer your questions about permits and licenses,
Okay.
et cetera. So can we, what is a simple question actually, like cloth, the bids, the nonprofits that are doing this work. What's our ability to send money in that direction?
So I think that it definitely goes into the expense part,
Okay.
because part of the expense, and you'll see when we go over it, is operating expense, meaning in one of the budget items is that we encourage SBS to continue to do what it's doing, right? To, in fact, not just that, but allocate more funds towards it. And I think through that avenue, we
So
can
I'm
see
just a
it.
little bit ahead. So
Yeah, no, no.
We're really looking at a very specific. I mean, it's tricky.
It's an
How do you
investment
spend capital
to
to do these? Yeah.
to do these things. Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for.
No.
Capital is
Great.
what he needs
Yeah.
to build a store. Capital.
Yeah. So, anybody else? Do we have any other ideas? All right.
I'm exhausted.
All right. No, we're halfway there. All right. So last year it was a mess, but this year I got it figured out. I'm gonna get some sticky notes. What we're gonna do is we have 5 items, and in these 5 items, you're gonna give them each one 5 points. You got a 5 point, a 4 point, a 3 point, a 2 point, and a 1 point. You could award one of those points. So for example, if I want to give my 5 points to car licensees, then we give them the 5 points. right?
We're getting a ranker.
Yeah, we're gonna, this is what we're doing. We're ranking them.
We're ranking.
But I'm just explaining to you the method in which we're gonna do that.
Five is top.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2,
5,
1.
yes. All right, 5, yes, 5 is the first one. So the budget item with the most points at the end is gonna be ranked at number 1. Okay? So I'm gonna give you guys all Post-its, and I'll count them up, and then we'll go from there.
Wow. So can you lend him money?
No,
Not really?
Not really.
Popular Bank is a federal bank.
Yeah, so basically with just what happened is that the business had to be, what's it, 2 years established.
Oh, okay.
One-
Yeah, sorry.
Can I ask you this though? It's a great question. What is your stance on hemp? Hemp is Ganyam, CBD.
Cannabis.
So it's a derivative of cannabis.
Okay.
But it's not THC. So,
You need Post-its?
right now,
Okay.
on a national scale, hemp is legal federally.
So right now, I think the for the bank is discussion, like when it comes to.
Thank you.
Thank you. But I think I know that's use the federal rule, right?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
federally approved,
But-
and I do use that, right?
Yeah.
Business.
Oh, 5, yeah, you would.
I mean, pretty much.
You have to
all
write
those-
it.
Can we write them all on?
Yeah,
one?
you could write them all on one, or you can, yeah, or you can.
You can have 5. So what are the 5 items?
So the 5 items are NYC Small Business Opportunity Fund for Startup Capital. And then the second one is Fund to assist business owners rebuild their outdoor seating structures. According to new regulations. Third one is My City AI, to help My City AI identify local resources.
Okay.
So build to help, and I'm gonna write this too, but you guys get the gist. To help train My City AI to help identify local resources.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Number 4, an application to aggregate and collect New York State data on new businesses that use CB12 as their address. And number 5, create a fund for car licensees to give access to loans, capital, and grants. Those are the 5. So you get a 5 point.
Yep.
So you give something 5 points, something 4 points, something 3, something 2, and 1. Cool. And then I will give you guys 2 to 3 minutes there. And we'll go from there.
We're doing the capital.
And we're doing capital and expenses, but during the intermission, we're gonna hear from Javier.
Wait a minute. This is capital?
This is capital.
Okay, we haven't gotten into the.
No, we haven't gotten to expenses.
I'm gonna be here all night.
No, but expenses are much easier. Capital is, that's why I started with capital, because I know it's
Yeah.
intense, so.
Okay. Huh. I think I got it.
Let me ask you this, I cannot give like 5.
Multiple, no, just one.
Can you read this?
Yep.
Or should I write it on?
No, you're good. You're good, I got it. Yes,
This
please.
this is what we do. We connect you with him. And sometimes people show up and sometimes they don't. And when they do, we try to network. So, go for it.
212.
Oh, yeah. Okay, all right, I got this. This down.
You are on anything?
No, you don't have to.
Secret ballot.
Secret ballot is cool.
No accountability.
Although when we vote, it's a public record. Right.
Oh, it is? I don't know that.
Yeah, when we vote in, in the
Elections?
general meetings.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Everything's public. This is all public.
Oh, yeah.
So. If Jim were here, I don't know what he would say.
Good old Timberland. Gotta love that guy. All right, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna tally these up. And then we'll get a ranking.
So you guys officially approved or what?
I'm
sorry.
Wait.
We're gonna talk.
After I count, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
I'm jumping ahead.
Okay, so, let's see something. Now, one.
Don't get up. Don't go.
Which one? Okay.
Yeah, what time is the break? Yeah, get up there.
If you want, you can go to.
Oh,
Just let me know, I know the supervisor. Then let them know.
yeah, I have your. Okay. That'll work.
What do you do?
I'm a community partner. manager. Actually working in, right now I'm doing workforce. development. That's how I knew about that.
Right.
Small business.
Yes, will they renovate the building or what is it?
So I'm on the one on Wilson Fifth. But I know that the one on maybe first. Actually, did they do renovations?
What was the, what we talking about? Sorry, kind of.
The SB,
Yes.
they have the small business solutions, I guess they're little offset. I think they were put them in the social fund, I don't know if they do all of them. But I remember. I had a conversation.
That's like a city agency. Or private.
It's actually part of it.
Oh.
Reading about this card stuff. That's-
They don't talk about it. Not like,
That's the unfortunate part, you know.
I mean, the rollout has been sort of chaotic.
I think it's even more
To their credit, you know, it's such a new thing, it's a nuance to
Yes,
it,
it is.
obviously,
Yeah,
and what they did for us, I mean, it's unprecedented. It has not been.
Yeah,
done
they could do better than this.
You know, but the funding part is to me the most chaotic part. See that part right there, because there was a lot of issues with the president of that, I think. And then from what you're reading, I'm sure that you see that stuff closed the whole program. So that program was pretty much done.
What is the injunction?
They come there so confused.
Well, there was the injunction
They
first.
come up with some convention, just say that, congestion price, I mean, it's like, this government is so unreliable.
Yeah, but there's some details on it on this year where she basically they ended the program. And there were only about what, like one or maybe two locations left, which I was you know, informed of one of those locations in August. And even till this day, I still haven't heard whether it was yay or nay.
I mean, she just doesn't call the image of somebody who's decisive.
Well, the unfortunate part is that they got rid of the two main, you know, people that created this for us, you know, it's like Chris Alexander and Damian Fagan. You know, which is so unfortunate, you know, and I think Damian just he handed in his resignation not too long ago. And then Chris did the same thing. But obviously they were, you know, kind of strong arms into doing it.
She's a character.
So why do I go around with them?
Confirmations. Not gonna be anybody left soon.
Does Hochul have a plan to resurrect this?
Uncle barely has a plan for anything. I mean, she's really,
Be careful, you're on video. You're on YouTube.
Well, it's a good,
Like, you mean like congestion pricing?
yeah, congestion price and stuff. You just get the sense that, you know.
ties in there.
I do, we got some time. Yes, exciting stuff. So we got one. We had a two. All right, so for tie for third place, we have the My City AI and the application to aggregate and collect New York State data on new businesses that have CV12 addresses. So I'll pass it around. All right, we're gonna break this tie. So just rank. You know what we can do this? Yeah. You want to do that? Okay, save my postage. All right, all in favor for third place. For the My City. Oh, here you go. I don't know which one it is. Oh. Okay.
Third place.
Gotta be consistent.
Yeah, so the first one was secret. So all in favor for My City AI being in third place, say aye.
And the other one,
The fourth one, which is the application to aggregate and collect New York State data of new businesses for CV12 address with CV12 addresses. All right, so I'll give you guys.
Third place, My City.
Okay, so wait, let me say it. All in favor of My City AI being in third place, say aye. Aye. Okay, so that settles it. Okay, we got 3. We have 4. I like that though. It was close. I was close. And unfortunately, although they need it, and I'll still push for it. The structures for outdoor dining is number 5. Yeah. Yeah. There they are. There they are.
So who wins? You, the small business.
What's number
Uh,
one?
the NYC Small Business Opportunity
Yeah.
Fund for startup capital.
What's that too?
Number 2 is create a fund for card licensees. As our,
Cool.
right? So we got number 2.
Wow.
Number 2 as our priority list. My City AI to help identify local business resources. Number 3 and number 4, we have the application to aggregate and collect New York State on new business data for CB12 addresses. And number 5, fund to assist business owners rebuild their outdoor seating structures according to new regulations.
Okay. Good.
How we, not bad.
Do we need to vote?
We
on
did that.
We are? I know we confirmed it.
Oh, yeah. Second, great, thank you. Right. All right, intermission.
Yeah.
Can we please, can we get an update on the application? So, quick background. For those who don't know, a banking development district, a BDD, is a New York State initiative that gives a deposit for banks to help underbanked communities. Banco Popular, Popular Bank, what they did is they applied through New York State to get a $3 million deposit to increase the economic development by offering business loans, mortgages, credit builders, a bunch of products that they offer to help this underbanked community. They applied, or we're going to get more details as to what happened in the spring. What we did as a committee is that we voted and we sent it to the financial services department in New York State. We voted to a letter of support for this application because our community needs that, and this will cover CB12 in general, which is the Heights and Inwood, and give our constituents access to a lot of banking services that wouldn't be available without this BDD. But let's get an update.
So just to clarify, basically, the funding that we get, right, is not a grant. So it's just basically the bank is holding money, right, for the New York State. And then we paid interest rate on the funds that we hold, right? Like something to be 4 or 5%, right? But that gives us the ability to do more lending, right? Business lending, consumer lending, credit card. But once they review our application, right, they review the others application with other branches, right? Because they have BDD application, Brooklyn, I think Bronx, Queens, I think is one, right? But overall, those branches, they weren't submitting a lot of application when it comes to credit builder, right? Because that's one of the key components that they look, and therefore they decided not to continue with the application, right? They stated that next year probably, they're gonna review it one more time to see how we're doing, like not personally my branch, but other branches like Bronx, Queens, and Manhattan. So we're gonna probably review it next year one more time. Fortunately, we couldn't get the funding, but we're still doing lending, right, to small businesses, consumer lending, credit card. We still do.
The 3 million, is it for each operating branch?
So no, so
No, it was.
it would be for this.
10 million.
It's 10 million.
10 million.
So 10 million would be just for this neighborhood, right? But unfortunately, internally, I'm guessing, they decided not to submit the application, but they're gonna consent,
Yeah.
next year. And we look forward to it because we need that. That is a direct state funding into Washington Heights and Inwood, like that's,
Exactly. Actually, I mean, I don't know if this is the proper time to say it, but right now, the rate for mortgages coming down a little bit. Right? So also we have some programs that actually they're gonna help the community, right? But when they buy the house or the home, they 5 years or 10 years. They need to qualify also of the income. Something like that.
That's good. That's a program, for first-time home buyers.
First time.
That's good. Interest rates down because, the big guy upstairs, right? Jerome Powell,
The
Mr.
Federal
Powell,
Reserve.
Federal Reserve.
Oh,
He dropped
Interest rates are down to about 6.25%.
0.5 after.
30-year,
Mhm.
30-year.
you can see it's
How much?
6. That one 6.
You're giving 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on the person.
A quick story.
On the what?
On the credit score.
Yeah, okay, good.
That's good.
Clarify, said you didn't submit, or was it denied?
I think we didn't submit it, right? That's the, I got, because they met and, you know, because they have with the gentleman that came, the manager. And
They decided not to.
Yeah, I mean, like, they give us they, like, probably we're gonna get approved, right? That was the answer.
They probably hired somebody or internally decided, based on what we have right now, we're not gonna get approved. Keep in mind that this program, they have a yearly audit, I guess you could say, just to check. Because along with the $10 million, they also do programming, right? First-time home buyers, personal finance, all these programs. Javier, tell them about the event that you had
Oh,
recently.
yes, I partnered up, with New York State Business Solutions, right? And what they normally do, they host an event at our branch every month, every 2 months. So I invite some of my customers, they posted this on the website, they come in, and then they, the person from New York State Business Solutions holds and they provide, business, um, um, like, seminar, right? What they need to do, small business with cash flow, what they need to do in order to start a business, and then that's what she does.
And I wasn't, by the time I got to that email, it was already passed, which is why I like send it out to the committee. But keep us informed,
Yeah.
right? Like, I know that this is no longer a part of the application, but we want to keep that connection because we want to write another resolution for you in the spring to help that application and push the application forward. So keep us in the loop. Any programs that you have, if there's any way that the committee can collaborate with you to do a program, I'm 100% with it. But keep us in the loop. Unfortunately, it didn't go through, but it will.
Question. Go ahead. Go, Chris.
This $10 million. $10 million, just to support your risk balance. So when you would write a loan to whoever, that person, et cetera, the state's not gonna come in and repay what you lost. The risk is still on the bank. It's just the
Yes.
$10 million is an extra capital cushion.
So we can.
So that you have
Yes.
a little more headroom to lend and they risk your loan.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very similar to what they do now with SBA. SBA loans, do the same thing in that sense where, but it's on a federal level. So the risk is leveraged to the federal government. Thank you. Oh, yes, Bruce,
Are
I'm
you
sorry.
allowed to share how many loans you make to small businesses on an annual basis in this area? Like a rough number, aggregate. We did 100 loans to small businesses for between 500,000 or 5,000 and 100,000.
So, yeah.
To show your involvement in the neighborhood.
Yeah, so basically it's about maybe between 5 and 10, right?
5 and
So,
10.
Yeah, I mean, customer businesses, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's less than 10 million that we have so far. So one of the main reason is because we get a lot of applicants, but when it comes to, once we review the financial, the cash flow is not there, right?
Yeah, the approval is down.
Yeah, so one thing is that once the business, like, they get cash, right?
Yeah.
And then they pay with the same cash, so they don't put in the bank account. So once we do it, right,
Yeah.
there's no cash flow. I know it's also, the accountant, the small business, like, don't put everything, right? We're gonna put a lot of deduction, right, at the end, like, probably the net profit is maybe 5,000, and that doesn't help when it comes to approving loans.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a big issue in this neighborhood because, especially, our mom and pop shops, they think that by hiding some cash flow, it helps them on one end, but kicks them in behind in the other, right?
Exactly.
So you're able to go ahead and have more liquid, right, cash to manage your expenses, but you're not filing, so revenue's not showing,
Yeah.
and you're underbanked.
Yeah,
But when you
exactly.
have another $10 million in reserves or in your portfolio to lend out, what's the difference with the customers who come? They're not gonna get any better just because you have more money. They're gonna still deal with.
Just to answer that question, they increase their risk, so
You're
their
willing to take more risk.
risk, yeah, so their application level goes up, their approval rating goes up.
Which is what Chris is doing.
Yeah. Thank you. Let us know of any events. Yeah.
Thank you for coming more often, like.
You're welcome anytime.
You have to return them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, like, no, after, like, yeah, no,
Is it
if I
grant?
grant that, no, after, I think, if, like, they do audit of 1 year, right? And then if we don't pass the audit, they pull the money back.
Okay.
And then after 5 years, there's another review, I think, we have to return it back. Because we pay interest every year.
On this
Well, yeah,
Okay.
So the audit would be if you're not actually, they're looking at these loans, if you're not generating new loans that fit a certain profile, that's what they
exactly.
Right.
So.
Or programming.
Yeah, they grade us and financial services.
Seminars and stuff like that.
Seminar, all that, we gotta keep track of what we do with the community, right? If you're not doing it, then people.
And then they put it back in the world.
Is there money?
Yeah.
What about the one you were this time?
No, that's our, like, it's on our balance sheet, right? That's, like, example, if I give you $1,000, right? And then she comes and she wants to lend you $500, but you owe me 1,000, but then if you lend $500 to her, that's on you.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's my question.
So just to move the agenda along, right? We have a not so exciting expense, but we have to go through it. But the first thing that I want to do is go through what the results were of 2025, excuse me, 2024. And we don't have to look no further but the last page because that's what we got. I believe, yeah. So okay. We'll start with first of all, what I want to start with is education campaign on cannabis from the OCM and SBS. I believe that I'm looking for it right now. If anybody finds it, let me know. I think that we can strike that because I think that what they said was that it's already been done by the SBS. We just can't find it.
No problem.
55,
Yeah.
55,
Yes, 55.
55.
Education campaign.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can strike that one, and plus we have a great capital budget item for that, so we can scratch that one off.
On what basis is done?
Yeah, I think that because we have the capital one, I mean, unless you guys want to include it again, I just can't find it on here, but I remember. Oh, no. Funding, no.
This doesn't have capital.
Yeah, it does, it does. It has at the bend, at the back.
Okay.
It's not capital, it's expense. That's why. Let me just look for it. Give me 1 second, guys.
It only goes up to 44.
Yeah, we went unranked for some reason. I don't know why, but
It's not on here, we don't have it. They stopped at 40.
yeah, I saw that earlier today, but I don't know. I don't think that was the final one, the one that they sent me. Anyways, we're crossing that out because of the our capital. Also designated speakers, Spanish speakers. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, the last one, 56. You guys found it? What page?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so it's number 50.
It's not on the thing, yeah. That's another one that wasn't on. That's why I'm starting with these two, because it's not it.
That's what I'm.
Yeah. And I think that we removed it last year. So we're gonna cross that one out as well.
Was that just not a
And last
legitimate
year,
request or
yeah,
something?
yeah. Last year I think we crossed it out because it wasn't. I think it was the chair that said it. It was too specific.
micro.
It wasn't too specific.
Yeah, it was too specific.
It was,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, so what we do have,
Pay for the mayor's hair shop.
that's the second bird he gets today. That's the second bird. That's good. He's getting flamed on the committee. I like it.
We should put it in.
So,
See what there's some.
so provide. You know what it is. I know what happened here. So if you can see, we have provide or expand business education and to business and entrepreneurs. That was already there, and the reason why we put that there was to not narrow in the micro community. So as an education campaign on health and safety, what we did was just do a general education campaign on all businesses. And the translation and the response that we got was the agency will try to accommodate this issue within existing resources. Which, oh, I found it. Sorry, I found it. Providing funding for cannabis education for small businesses. And the results were the agency will try to accommodate this issue within existing resources. So we got those two. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Should we include cannabis or not?
Sure, why not?
Okay. All right. So we got option one here, education campaign for cannabis. All right. So that was option one. Right. Right.
Now, who's gonna do that? SBA?
SBS and OCM. That's what we did it. Okay, so I now found the hiring Spanish speaking health inspectors.
Yeah, that's a good.
So this I was actually denied.
Really?
This is not under SBS jurisdiction. Please refer this request to appropriate agency. So, because our requests go to directed to SBS.
We can't step out of, we can't send our request to the
So
Department
like,
of Health.
no,
We can only make.
yeah, as
requests.
SBS, sometimes DEP, but most of our requests is through this committee is to SBS. Okay. So we got one. Okay, here's a one that I wanted to talk about. All right. Physical resource guide. of different programs designed to help businesses and virtual organizational chart detailing responsibilities of each city agency. So we have, because, and this is the reason why I did this. And you mentioned this earlier, Bruce. A lot of people are not gonna go onto My City, go use the AI bot, go use all these resources we have online. Sometimes they need a physical resource guide, and like a visual organizational chart. Yeah, and hard copy. So I asked for that last year in the budget. And the response was the agency will try to accommodate this issue within existing resources. And that was number 41. The priority was 41. Should we include that?
For one of the better, for one of the other options.
I mean, it would be virtual, right? Like that's some.
I mean, look, we can use our opportunity of making proposals on that item. Just propose it. Unless we have something better, which I don't see much.
No, I don't think we do.
Yeah.
I do have one idea, and we'll get to that.
So, no harm in doing that.
Okay, so physical resource guide. That's our second option. Number 3, and it's what we were talking about earlier, Chris. I wanted to get to that. Is an increased funding to SBS on its own. Now, other expense budget requests increased funding to SBS to continue their initiatives. And for some reason, our budget response, the office of the mayor's office, the office, excuse me, of Manhattan Borough President's office supports the agency's positions as follows. This is not under SBS jurisdiction. What? Okay.
Increase your own funding, I guess.
Please refer this request to the appropriate agency. The mayor's office? I don't know. But what we'll do is, do you guys think we should still include it in our budget request? Or do you think it's too broad?
Well, can you answer the question? Know what they're gonna say.
Yes, if they said they don't
Yeah.
do it, then should we submit it to them?
I mean, what agency? I think the SBS is directly under, I'm guessing the mayor's office. That's my guess.
But I mean, I see how they make sense. If you say increase the funding, well, they are not gonna increase the funding. It has to be voted.
Yeah, I have a thought. I'm just making sure I'm supported here what I'm talking about. So SBS gives grants straight up. And so I think if we ask them or ask
SBS
to
directly.
increase their grant funding for community organizations that are supporting whatever we want, job training,
Small business
business outreach.
in general.
Yeah, I think if we put it to like
Okay.
increase in grant funding, because what we want to find, I mean, SBS, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, but I think, if our organizations like CLOS and Dominican Women's Resource Center and those kinds of places have access to a little more specific funding through SBA, because they're the ones who ultimately would do some of this job training, helping people connect to resources. So maybe if we frame it that way, so increase your grant funding.
Okay, yeah. Increase your grant
Equal
funding to community-based organizations that assist small businesses.
Yeah, I know, right?
Perfect. I love that. Good. So we have 3 on the board so far. All right. So that was our last year. With a little extra pizzazz, more focus on the third one. So thank you.
Can you say that again? Increase grant funding
To community-based organizations that assist
NGOs,
CBO.
CBOs or NGOs.
non-governmental organizations.
I like that one. NGOs that assist small businesses. I put it general just so we don't focus on it.
Yeah,
You know?
not.
All right. Okay, we have a 4th one. Okay, now You know, it's funny that you mentioned grants because my idea, I just looked up and read it. It's very similar. So I just want to show you guys something. Okay, so they have inside my city, they have this thing called a fund finder. Javier, are you familiar with the fund finder?
No.
No? Okay. Fund finder NYC. So part of that legislation that they did last summer and they created my city was to create my city bot, and it was also to create um there's the article NYC fund finder. Excuse me. And I'll show you what that looks like. So what this is literally a big resource guide of all the types of lenders there is. So we got a familiar face there, Yumas, that's often here in the committee. And you know, all these are CDFIs, which are what is it? What's CDFIs again? What's the acronym?
Community Development Fund.
Yeah, CDFI, right? Community Development Financial Institutions, right? So all of these things are in Fund Finder, right? Which is great. I love that we can garnish all this, and it's helped a lot of people. And we have to get the word out about this because a lot of people don't know about this. So you could increase your funds through Fund Finder, especially if you need an injection of capital, you need something else in your business that you need money for. This is a great tool. Now, I think that we should, in our expense budget, is to help expand Fund Finder, the Fund Finder program, to help include more grants, as opposed to just loans, right? Because these are just loans, and so
Is there a grant finder?
no, there should be a grant finder, right? So it's Fund Finder is loans, but it's also grants. So I think that part of our expense should be like, hey, expand Fund Finder to help include more grants.
That'd be a dumb question, but, how often is a small business going to get gluten-free money? As opposed to like a community organization getting a grant. I mean, is there a market that I don't know?
There is, there's, for example, like, and usually it's tied to some sort of like seminar, right?
Or now, yeah, some kind of
Outcome, right? Like, or engagement. Like, for example, Verizon has this great grant program they do twice a year that you have to take like 2 or 3 classes of theirs online, get their engagement, right? I guess it's a charity arm of Verizon. It's not like them getting money out, but you know, you get engagement, you learn something, right? Some sort of outreach, and then you get one. I know Ponce Bank has one. I know there's this application called Hello Alice that has a bunch of grants that you can apply for. Especially large corporate entities want to give money away through their not-for-profit arm.
Right. So non-for-profit, absolutely. I guess it seems like a much narrower sliver
Mhm.
of them who would be the bodega can apply for a grant. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I mean,
The Goya grant to
yeah, the Goya grant to the business, right? So I think it is there. Are there more opportunities for not-for-profits? Hands down, of course. But there are grant opportunities for small businesses. So I'm gonna put that down as our number 4.
That it? Can we vote?
Yeah, I know it's getting late, guys. You know, this is our longest meeting of the years, of the year.
Well,
This,
the
this is, huh?
debates.
Oh, are we?
My wife's texting me.
Oh, it started at 9? Okay.
Wait, this is the last meeting of October, it's not October, right?
Yeah, it's October.
Meeting. Oh.
Yeah, it's October. It's October 1st. This is like, yeah, it came so fast because October 1st is on to Tuesday. And Yeah, so expand fund finder program to include more grants. All right. How we feeling? Any ideas on the expense side? How we feeling?
Oh, good.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Javier. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. All right, we'll talk.
I think the e-bike charging stuff, I think it's really great. I'm bummed we can't put that forward for ourselves. I think all that stuff is.
But Bruce is gonna handle that, right? You're gonna put that in deal in tell Leo to put that on there. And he has to do the budget next week, so. Okay, I'm just like collecting all of these. If we don't, I'm gonna pass out some. There it is.
Oh, we gotta do this again.
Yeah. This time it's only 4 points, right? So it's only four options we have. Oh, thank you.
What's the scale, right?
It wasn't five. It's gonna be four now because we only have. Yeah,
4 to 1, that's the scale.
that's the scale right now. Yep. So let me just remind you, everyone, education campaign on cannabis, a physical resource guide. Read it exactly. A physical resource guide of different programs designed to help businesses to have a visual organization or chart, the tenant responsibility of each agency. That's number two. Increase grant funding to community-based organizations that assist small businesses, and expand fund finder program to include more grants. Okay. Thank you.
What was the last one?
Expand fund finder program
Oh,
to,
fund finder,
yeah,
to include grants.
yeah. Okay. Well, I got those. Thank you. Thank you. Um, okay. Are you ready? Okay. Here we go. So, number one. Okay. Okay. Wouldn't it be fun if we got another time? Okay. Here we go, guys. Oh, we got TV. We got 22. Okay. So in first place, we got our physical resource guide. Like it. Our third place is the increased grant funding to community-based organizations. Second, sorry, that's what I meant. Excuse me, this is second. Second is to increase grant funding to community-based organizations that assist small businesses. So increase grant, yeah. And then number 3 is education campaign on cannabis through the SBS. That's number. And lastly is to expand Fund Finder to include more grants.
That's number 4.
Number 4.
Oh,
I could live with that.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I'll type this up real nice. Send it over to the general board where we'll vote on other committees and their rankings. I'm pretty sure that you guys have other things you guys want to see in our neighborhood, so don't be shy to vote other things. You know, there's a lot of other things that we need. It's garbage. Sorry, I'm like a need free.
We'll look that up.
Yeah.
So, what can we provide the rest of the board, flesh out? Like what,
I
how does it
mean-
usually work?
Like, are you like, what scale are you talking about? You like
Just like,
parent
well,
feeding it out, or like?
Kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
like here's maybe 2 pages from business development on, here's our, you know, like 2 sentences, 3 sentences on each thing. That especially the cannabis estate program, like,
So I'll tell you what we usually do.
Yeah.
We don't advocate as much within. Like, we want to be like, hey, you know, I mean, that's where politics comes into play, right? Like, you want to connect with your other board members and talk about, you know, different budget items, right? Like, hey, you know, this is X, Y, Z, because we only get, I think, from what I recall, we get 5 minutes up there. We'll talk about our budget items on the expense, on the capital side, and then they're gonna vote. But I do encourage you to talk about it.
sure.
You know, I don't, because imagine, you know, if we have 52 budget items with X literature on each subject, it can be like
Sure.
dense, right? So, especially with, you know, the type of, I mean, if we were actually creating a budget, right? Then, but it's more influence and more input and more advisory. So,
Yeah.
I would say definitely politic. Talk to your few members and, you know, get the word out on our, because I always do. So,
Yeah.
I encourage everybody in the committee to do that. To talk about our budget items, right? To increase our,
Twist them arm.
yeah, to increase our rankings. So let's move our agenda along. All right, new business. Do we have any new business? Any old business? Any announcements? Can I get a motion to adjourn? Bruce,
Second.
you got Carl as a second. We called this meeting to order at 7:09, and we're adjourning this meeting at 9:25. Thank you guys all so much. The long meeting, but you know,
This is the toughest meeting of the year.
yes, by far. Thank you guys, everybody that joined us online. Bye.